Picture this. You come home one evening after a long day and proceed to relax in your bedroom upstairs as you enjoy some cold beer. Your wife is in the kitchen preparing dinner, probably humming to that one song that she has been humming to ever since you two got married. Your two sons are in their rooms, playing video games or studying. Your other two daughters just returned back to boarding school and your eldest son is in campus. Life is good. You are a family man and nothing could go wrong that night. However, you hear some commotion downstairs, and once you proceed to check, you are met by your 22-year-old son who has a big knife in his hand and covered in blood. His plan? To kill you and wipe away your entire family. This is the story of Lawrence Warunge, the son who killed almost his entire family in one night. Hello everyone, my name is Wangoi Grace. Welcome to my YouTube channel, True Crimes with Wangoi. This is the channel where we get to highlight true crime Kenyan stories. Thank you so much for the love that you showed me on my previous video. If you have not watched it, make sure you do. I did a video on the late Sharon Otieno. Make sure to check it out after this video, and remember guys to subscribe. Today I'm highlighting a really disturbing story because it's the story about the son who killed his own parents, two of his brothers, and one worker in cold blood. The son in question is Lawrence Warunge. At the time of committing these murders, Warunge was a 22-year-old Mount Kenya University student who was pursuing IT. One of the shocking details of this murder is that he actually planned on executing his plans 3 months before, and his first idea was to kill his family using carbon monoxide, which he failed 3 times. He actually started planning these murders 3 months before, and now his last idea was using the knife, which unfortunately he succeeded. So on the fateful day, Warunge asked his girlfriend to purchase for him a big knife with a metallic handle. He also bought a pair of jeans, a jacket, a pair of ladies' shoes, wigs, and a doll. Later, he cut off the doll's head. During this time, he bought the things in Thika. So he boarded a matatu from Thika, where he headed to town in CBD. From CBD, he went to Uhuru Park and later went to the Holy Basilica Church. But he figured out he could not enter the church, especially with a knife. So he went to the supermarket and actually pretended that he wanted to get in. So he was to leave his luggage at the entrance, and he was given a supermarket tag. So he left his goods, but he did not actually enter the supermarket, and he went to the church. I find it really disturbing that he went to church. He did not state what he went to do in the church, but after he left the church, he took his goods, and at 4 p.m. he boarded a matatu from town, and he was headed to Limuru, where from Limuru now he boarded another matatu and went to his family home. On arrival, a few meters away from their home, there was a construction that was ongoing, and that's where he found James Kenyans. The construction also belonged to his father. It was like some few meters from their home. Once he found James Kenyans, he asked him to give him a metal bar, but he did not specify what he wanted this metal bar for. He also confessed that James noticed that Lawrence was nervous, and when he was asked, he just said he was just stressed, and he did not care to explain why he was stressed. He actually timed when James was unaware, and he hit him with this metal bar at the back of his head. He later proceeded to stab James on the chest, and when he saw that James did not die, he went ahead and cut his throat. After he had killed James, he did not leave the crime scene and stayed there for about some few hours until at around 8 p.m. when he saw his father being driven home in a taxi. So it seems like he obviously knew his father wasn't at home. I don't know if he was in communication with his parents, because after he had killed James, he did not immediately go to their home. He actually stayed. Maybe I'm thinking maybe it's because he knew his father was around. I don't know if he was communicating with his mother or anyone else, but he did not know that his father. After killing James, he did not leave the crime scene immediately until 8 p.m. when he saw his father arriving home in a taxi. Now, I don't know why he did not leave the crime scene immediately after he had killed James. I'm not sure if he knew that his father was not at home, and maybe he was waiting for his father to come. I could not find out why he continued to stay, if he knew that his father was at home, or he was just staying there and then his father came. So his father went into their home, and he got in, and Lawrence did not want his family to know that he was at home, because he actually accessed their home through the perimeter wall. He climbed through the perimeter wall, and actually he got shocked, but he was adamant. He was like, you know what, I must get to the home regardless of anything. Now through the compound, he could see that his mother was in the kitchen preparing dinner. At this time, the father, who had come home with beers, he had gone upstairs into the bedroom. Now into the family home, there was the mother who was in the kitchen downstairs preparing dinner. Two of his brothers were in their bedrooms, and now his father, who was having his beers, was in his bedroom. So Lawrence's first idea was to switch off the main switch, which means after he switched it off, there was no light. He then later went ahead using paraffin and a green handbag to start a fire just outside the kitchen where his mother was. Now the fire was to distract his mother. Obviously now there's darkness, and now from the kitchen the mother could see that there was some fire coming from outside the kitchen, and she went to check. This was when Lawrence attacked his mother. One of the brothers heard the commotion, and he came to check what was going on. Lawrence attacked him, but he was able to go back into the house. From the report of the police, they showed that actually his mother was the only person who had severe cuts, showing that she was the one who was blocking, like she was trying to protect herself, meaning the rest of the family members and even the worker, they were caught unawares. After his mother felt unconscious and he had made sure that she was dead, he got into the house now to look for the brother who he had just attacked, but he managed to go back into the house. I do not know how far his father's bedroom was from the kitchen, because all this while the father was not hearing any commotion. But after now, the Lawrence went into the house to look for this other brother whom he had attacked. His father had already had commotion at this point, so he came downstairs only to be met by his son with a big knife, and I'm assuming he was already covered in blood. His father started to run away. And who is Lawrence? He followed his father. His father tried to escape using the balcony, and when he jumped, remember that he's in fear, he's in a state of shock, he's afraid, he's confused, he don't know what is happening. So when he jumped from the balcony, he got injured. It was not like he jumped strategically. He was in a flight mode. And then when he jumped from the balcony, he was injured and he could not run away. That was when Lawrence went outside and stabbed his father. He actually reported that while he was in the house killing his other brothers, he heard his father trying to open the gate. he actually went back and continued to stab his father until his intestines came out. Guys, told you this is a very disturbing case. Now, after he had finished off his father, he went back into the house to look for his brother, found him, and went ahead and slit his throat. There was another brother who now, actually, he was the adopted nephew to the family, but he was just like a brother, the 13-year-old Maxwell. He was hiding under the bed, and Lawrence came out looking for him, and he found him under the bed. Maxwell begged his older brother to spare him, but it all fell on deaf ears, and I can imagine the pain the young boy was in. Like, he was begging for mercy, but Lawrence was having none of that. And in just one night, he had killed a worker, his mother, his father, and 2 of his brothers. As if that is not shocking enough, Lawrence went ahead and took a shower. I remember his mother was preparing dinner when he attacked her, ate the dinner that his mother was preparing, went ahead and switched on the television, watched a show, and later proceeded to go to bed, to his father's bed. He slept up at around 4 a.m. when he woke up and borrowed a lift in one of the delivery vehicles. He went to Naivasha and then later to Mai Mahiu. Now Mai Mahiu, Lawrence had a girlfriend. Remember the girlfriend that he asked to purchase for him a big knife? Mai Mahiu was the rural home of the girlfriend, which actually they had rented a house there. He went to Mai Mahiu. He burnt the clothes that were covered in blood. He had also carried his parents' phones. He burnt them too, and the big knife, he dumped them in a pit latrine. Now, a day after the murder, they later moved out of that rented room with a girlfriend, and they went to their hideout, in Lower Kabete. That is where actually he was found. Now, the entire story, it's Lawrence confessing. He actually confessed to the murders of his family, and he claimed that his murders were inspired by Killing Eve. Killing Eve is a show about a serial killer who is on a mission, who receives certain missions to go about and kill people. And he actually said that he was inspired by the show Killing Eve. The girlfriend was also arrested together with Lawrence, but the charges against her were later dropped off, and she is now more of a witness because her only relation to these murders was that she was the one who purchased the knife that Lawrence asked her to, and the other thing that linked her to the murder was the hideout that they went to in Lower Kabete. They were together, and also the room that they had rented in Mai Mahiu. As of now, she's just a witness to the case, and all the charges against her were dropped. Lawrence was the elder son. There were other 2 sisters who were in boarding school, and his family, now his relatives, claimed that after Lawrence had been arrested and he was remanded, he was sending threats to the family members, claiming that he was also going to kill his other 2 sisters and any other remaining family member. I don't think Lawrence is or was okay in the mind, because I don't understand how he can do to even think that this was all premeditated, like he had planned these killings 3 months before. And he said that his parents did not like him, that they were treating him badly, and he said that his siblings were siding with his parents, and this is the motive to why he killed his family. And I don't think that was enough reason. In my personal opinion, I think Lawrence could be mentally unstable. So for you to stand trial, you have to, especially for murder cases, you have to be checked if you're okay. And two reports showed that Lawrence was mentally unstable to stand trial, but the last test showed that he was fit. The two tests that Lawrence did showed that he was suffering from induced psychosis. This is a mental sickness which detaches you from reality and makes you not to be in touch with reality. So from the two tests that was taken from mental health, he was diagnosed with induced psychosis. And another shocking thing is that when now after Lawrence and his girlfriend had gone to Lokabete, police at first thought that Lawrence had also been killed. They could not, at this time Lawrence was not a suspect, because they thought, the family, the relatives and the police thought that Lawrence was in university. Remember, he was a university student. But now he was into hiding. He could not be found, so it raised an alarm. And when they moved to Luakabeta with the girlfriend in their hideout, Lawrence switched on his phone, and now the police was able to pick a signal, and that is where they were found with his girlfriend. He actually admitted to the murders, and he gave a detailed explanation on how he executed his murders, and everything that he said matched with what the police found on their own investigation. For example, like initially the police thought that it was not a one-man's job, but from the footsteps in the house, they matched the shoes that were found in my mahio that Lawrence had gotten rid of. So the footsteps, they did not find any, like when he's obviously killing several people, so there's a lot of blood involved. So that means there would be footsteps, him chasing the brothers, going to there to kill the mother, now chasing after the father. And the only footsteps that were found, they matched the same exact shoe that he was wearing on that night. And even at some point, due to the shoes that they got really soaked with blood, he got rid of the shoes, and now he was walking in socks. And everything that he confessed, and his confession matched with the findings of the police. And I cannot even imagine the pain of the two other sisters. Remember, Lawrence had two other sisters who were in boarding school, who had just gone back to school. He was also planning on finishing off them as well. It's just that they went back to school earlier than he expected. And I don't even want to imagine what they went through, or even what they are going through, learning that your entire family has been wiped away. And what's even sadder is that it was your brother who did it. As of now, this case is still fresh in court. The hearing is still ongoing. The judgment is yet to be made. And later now, when he was taken to court, he actually pleaded not guilty. So now it's upon the defense to claim that he is actually guilty of the murders, of the 5 murders that he committed. What's your opinion on this story, guys? In my opinion, I think that he was mentally unstable, and as maybe the first diagnosis that the medical doctors suggested, the induced psychosis, I truly believe them, because I can't imagine what it's like. I don't even know what could motivate a son to kill his own parents, his brothers, and even show no remorse. Because even after he was arrested, he was showing no remorse of what he has done. He actually said that he was shocked to see his family members crying, and he would use paper so that he could actually cry. So this shows that this young man had no remorse. So I would send my condolences to the family of to the two sisters who are left behind. I cannot even imagine what the family is going through, and may the soul of the 5 people rest in peace. As for Lawrence, I hope that he gets the help that he deserves, if he deserves help. Anyway, with due time, the court will do its work. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comment section what other story that you would like me to highlight. Remember to subscribe, comment, and like, and you can also share with your friends. And until next time, bye.